The Lament of Baba Tahir, being the Rubaiyat of Baba Tahir, HAMADANI, Uryan. Introduction by Edward Heron-Allen, abridged. Though the Rubaiyat of Baba Tahir are chanted and recited to the present day all over Persia to the accompaniment of the three-stringed viol or lute known as the sitar, three strings, and few collections of poems have been published in that country, or indeed in the Persian language, since the introduction of the lithographic press, that do not contain some specimens of his quatrains. Concerning the poet himself, few precise details, biographical or otherwise, have yet come to light. The only published attempt to lift the veil of mystery that shrouds the personality of Baba Tahir is to be found in Majma-ul Fusaha of Riza Quli Khan, where, by way of introduction to 10 Rubaiyat of Baba Tahir, the compiler expresses himself as follows. Tahir, Uryan, HAMADANI. His name was Baba Tahir. He was one of the most eminent mystics of his era. The opinion expressed by some writers that he was contemporary with the Seljuk sultans is erroneous. He was one of the earliest of the Shaikhs and lived under the Daylemite dynasty. He flourished about 1019 and died before Unsuri, Firdawsi, or any of their contemporaries. He is the author of Rubaiyat of great excellence in the ancient language, which are still extant. It is also said that there are extant treatises by him, and that scholars have composed commentaries upon them. All that we can safely state is that he was a crazy saint, a dervish, or religiously inspired beggar, from his popular name Uryan, or the Naked, in which condition he doubtless roamed the streets of Hamadan, the especially protected of God and the Prophet, the prefix Baba indicating the dervish or Qalandar condition, rather than prominence among the Sufi sect. To the above information may usefully be added the following, which is a translation of an account gathered from a native scholar by Captain Charles Kemble. It is headed, Account concerning Tahir, known under the name of Uryan, as handed down by tradition, and is as follows. It is stated that Tahir-e-Uryan was an illiterate person and was a woodcutter. During the day he was wont to go to the madrasa, academy, and listen while the students would read their lessons. But the students used to make fun of him. One day he remarked to one of the inmates of the institution, "I wonder what these students do in order that they may understand the instructions of the professors." The student replied jokingly, "At midnight they get into this pond and plunge their heads under the water 40 times. After undergoing this process they understand the instructions." Tahir believed this account and did the same himself, though the weather was intensely cold. Just then a flash of light appeared and entered his mouth. Next day he came to the madrasa and commenced a philosophical discussion with the students, to which they were unable to respond. When they asked him the reason of this sudden change, he related his story to them, saying, "I passed the night as a Kurd and opened with the morning as an Arab." This immensely astonished his hearers. It is stated that there seemed to be extraordinary heat in his body, so much so that no one could sit near him. He used to pass his time continually in the jungles and mountains. Such is the modern tradition concerning our poet-philosopher. When we come to the discussion of our translation, which purports to place before our readers the sentiments of Baba Tahir, we get on to exceedingly delicate ground. I must say at once that I alone am responsible for the actual translation of the quatrains, and that Mrs. Brenton has rhymed my literal interpretations with a fidelity and exactitude which is often but little short of amazing. Whatever errors of interpretation are to be found in this volume, and I am exceedingly conscious that they are many, are entirely due to my lack of a just comprehension of the original. It is for this reason that, after very serious consideration, I have at last, and somewhat reluctantly, decided, on the advice and at the request of several students of the language, to append after the text my own measured prose renderings of the quatrains. With these preliminary observations by way of introduction, we must leave our Lament of Baba Tahir in the hands of the amateur of verse and the student of the Persian language. My own interpretations of the quatrains have been versified with conspicuous success by Mrs. Elizabeth Curtis Brenton, whose paraphrase of the accepted renderings of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam attracted much attention when issued by the Brothers of the Book at Gouverneur, New York, USA, in 1899. The quatrains being in the nature of independent aphorisms have no proper order of their own. Mrs. Brenton has arranged them as they fell into place during the process of constructing her poem. My prose version follows the order of the text, which I have arranged to some extent so as to bring together such sets of quatrains as appear to deal with certain attitudes of mind, for example, addresses to God, to himself, to his beloved, and so on. It may be observed, in conclusion, that it is often very difficult to determine whether an earthly or a heavenly object of adoration is the object addressed in any particular rubai. But this is a difficulty which is incidental to all Oriental poetry in which a mystic or sophistic tendency is observable. The Rubaiyat of Baba Tahir HAMADANI Uryan. Note: in the following translation I have endeavoured to offer a certain measure of ordinary English expression. Happy are they who live in the sight of thee, who hang upon thy words and dwell with thee. Too frail to approach, I see thee from afar, and seek the sight of those that see thee ever. Without thee in the garden, Lord, may no rose bloom, or, blooming, may none taste its sweet perfume. So should my heart expand when thou art not nigh. 'Twere vain, my heart's grief naught could turn to joy. Happy are they indeed whose friend is God, who, giving thanks, say ever, He is God. Happy are they who always are at prayer, eternal heaven is their just reward. That phrase, they said yes, fills me with alarm. I bear more sins than does a tree bear leaves, when, on the last day, they that read the book shall read, I, bearing such a record, will hang my head. Lord, who am I, and of what company? How long shall tears of blood thus blind mine eyes? When other refuge fails, I'll turn to thee, and if thou failest me, whither shall I go? Homeless as I am, to whom shall I apply? A houseless wanderer, whither shall I go? Turned from all doors, I come at last to thee. If thy door is denied, where shall I turn? If thou killest me miserably, whom fearest thou? And if thou drivest me forth abject, whom fearest thou? Thou a half-hearted thing, I fear none. Thy heart is the two worlds, whom fearest thou? Drunkards and drunk though we be, thou art our faith. Unstable, weak though we be, thou art our faith. Though we be Muslims, Gerberers, Nazarenes, whate'er the outward form, thou art our faith. He who has suffered grief knows well its cry, as knows the assayer when gold is pure. Come then, ye burnt in heart, chant we laments, for well we know what 'tis to burn in heart. When o'er the garden wall the branches hang, the garden's keeper suffers ever bitter grief. They must be cut back, even to the roots, even though pearls and rubies be their fruit. Briar and thorn beset thy way, O heart, beyond the dome of heaven is thy road. If thou art able, then thy very skin cast off from thee, and lighten thus thy load. Come, O ye burnt in heart, let us gather round, let us converse, setting forth our woes, bring scales, make trial of our weight of woe. The more we burn, the heavier weighs our grief. O burnt in heart, Come ye and mourn with me, mourn we the flight of that most lovely rose, hie we with the ecstatic nightingale to the rose garden, and when she ceases mourning, we will mourn. A falcon I, and, as I chased my prey, an evil-eyed one's arrow pierced my wing. Take heed, ye heedless, wander not the heights, for him who heedless roams, fate's arrow strikes. My horse said yesterday to me, "There is no doubt but that your stable is a coign of heaven. Here is not grass nor water, straw nor grain. 'Tis fit for angels, not for beasts like me." 'Tis heaven's whim to vex me and distress, my wounded eyes hold ever briny tears. Each moment soars the smoke of my despair to heaven, my tears and groans fill all the universe. O Lord, this heart of mine afflicts me sore, I weep this heart of mine both day and night. Often I grieve, but for my grief. O some one rid me of this heart that I may be free. By day and night the desert is my home, by day and night mine eyes shed bitter tears. No fever rocks me, I am not in pain, all I know that day and night I grieve. O wicked, wanton, wastrel heart of man, when the eyes sin the heart must bear the dool. If the eyes never saw a lovely face, how would the heart e'er know where beauties are? Beneath the tyranny of eyes and heart I cry, for all that the eyes see the heart stores up. Oh fashion me a pointed sword of steel, put out mine eyes, and so set free my heart. Mine is a heart that has no health in it, howe'er I counsel it, it profits not. I fling it to the winds will none of it, I cast it on the flames, it does not burn. I am that wastrel called a calendar, I have no home, no country, and no lair. By day I wander aimless o'er the earth, and when night falls my pillow is a stone. What blundering moth in all the world like me? What madman like me in the universe? The very serpents and the ants have nests, but I, poor wretch, no ruin shelters me. The meadow of my thought grows naught save grief. My garden bears no flower save that of woe. So arid is the desert of my heart, not even the herbage of despair grows there. My heart is dainty as a drinking cup, I fear for it whene'er I heave a sigh. It is not strange my tears are as blood, I am a tree whose roots are set in blood. If single were my grief, what should I care? If small my sorrow were, what should I care? Call to my couch my lover or my leech, if either one were nigh, what should I care? With wailing plaint my heart is like a flute, the grief of losing thee is ever at my heels. Till the last day am I consumed with grief, and when that day shall be, God only knows. 'Tis spring, in every garden roses bloom, on every bough 1,000 nightingales. There is no mead where I can set my foot, pray there be none more burnt in heart than I. I am the ocean poured into a jug, I am the point essential to the letter. In every 1,000 one greater man stands out, I am the greater man of this mine age. A phoenix I, whose attributes are such that when I beat my wings the world takes fire, and should a painter limn me on a wall, mine image being there would burn the house. If my sweetheart is my heart, how shall I name her? And if my heart is my sweetheart, whence is she named? The two are so intimately interwoven that I can no longer distinguish one from the other. If the mood takes me to seek my loved one's face, restrain me not, my heart is thrall to her. Ah, camel man, for God's sake, haste not so, for I am a laggard behind the caravan. The picture of thy beauty, love, quits not my heart. The down, the mole, love, on thy cheek I see alway. I'll knit my lashes close o'er wrinkled eyes, that, weeping, thine image ne'er can leave me, love. To-night I can do nought but weep and wail. To-night I am impatient, conscienceless. To-night one hour seemed passing sweet to me. To-night, 'twould seem, I pay for last night's joy. More than 1,000 hearts hast thou laid waste. More than 1,000 suffer grief for thee. More than 1,000 wounds of thine I've counted, yet the uncounted still are more than these. Subdue the glories of thy hyacinthine hair, wipe the tears of blood from thy narcissus eyes. Why robb'st thou me of the sun? Which is thy love? Day passes quick, bring not the night too soon. O heart of stone, thou burnest not for me. That stone burns not, is not, indeed, so strange. But I will burn till I inflame thy heart, for fresh-cut logs are difficult to burn alone. My heart is giddy and distraught for love of thee, and tears in torrents flood my beating eyes. How like a new-cut log are lovers' hearts, whilst one end burns, the other bleeds its sap. Without thee my heart has no moment's peace, and if I see thy face my grief has fled. If all men had a share in my heart's grief, no heart in all the world but would be sad. Thy tangled curls are scattered o'er thy face, mingling the roses with the hyacinths, but part asunder those entangled strands, on every hair thou'lt find there hangs a heart. O may thy sunny face grow brighter yet, may thy love's arrow split my heart in twain. Knowest thou why thy cheek's mould is so black? All things become burnt black close to the sun. The breeze that played amid thy curling locks is sweeter far than hyacinths to me. All night I pressed thy picture on my breast. At dawn my bed gave forth a scent of roses. With 2 strands of thy hair will I string my ribub. In my wretched state what canst thou ask of me? Seeing that thou hast no wish to be my love, why comest thou each midnight in my sleep? O thou, whose sweet soft eyes the Surmeh shades, O thou, whose slender figure rends my heart, O thou, whose musky ringlets cluster on thy neck, why passest thou unheeding? Art thou dumb? Love to be sweet must be reciprocal. Love unrequited maketh sick the heart. If Majnun's heart was desperate for love, the heart of Layla was more desperate still. Come and illume my chamber for one night. Keep me not wretched by thine absence from me. By the 2 arcs that are thine eyebrows' curves, I swear since thou'st forgotten, grief only shares my bed. Art thou a lion or leopard, O heart, that thou warrest ever with me? O heart, O heart! Fall thou into my hands, I'll spill thy blood to see what colour it is, O heart, O heart! My beautiful! Thou hast my heart and soul, thou hast mine inner and mine outer self. I know not why I am so very sad, I only know that thou hold'st the remedy. Comest thou thyself? I will cover thee with caresses. Comest thou not? For thine absence will I sorely grieve. Be thy sorrows what they may, lay them upon my heart, and I will either die of them, or be consumed by them, or bear them bravely. 7 days the anemones last upon the heights, on river brink the violets last 7 days. From town to town will I proclaim this truth, but 7 days can rosy cheeks keep faith. Grieving for thee my heart is ever sad, a brick my pillow, and my couch the earth. My only sin is loving thee too well. Surely not all thy lovers suffer so? A taper I, whose flame sheds waxen tears. Are not the tears from burning hearts the same? All night I burn, throughout the day I weep, Such days and nights are all on thine account. When thou'rt away mine eyes o'erflow with tears, Barren the tree of hope when thou'rt away. Without thee, night and day, In a solitary corner I sit, Till life itself come to an end. O heart, I mourn in purple for thy flight, I bear my grief as the train bearer bears the train. As the dawn boasts the rising sun, boast I thy love, henceforth till Israfel shall sound his trump. Full is my heart with fire and mine eyes with tears, Brimful the vessel of my life with grief. But, dead, I should revive with thy perfume, If haply thou shouldst wander o'er my grave. Fate is an ill that no one can avert, It wields its sway alike o'er kings and viziers. The king who yesterday, by his rule, Devoured Kerman, becomes today Himself the meat of worms. Black is my lot, my fortunes overturned. Ruined are my fortunes, for my luck is brought low. A thorn, a thistle I, on the mountain of love, For my heart's sake. Drown it in blood, O Lord! Since that first day when thou createst us, What hast thou seen in us save frowardness? Lord, by the faith of thy blessed 12 Imams, Forget thou seest for us the camel of death. The age's grief is our soul's portion here. To free our souls from care needs magic art. To all, at last, comes remedy for grief. Annihilation cures all hearts at last. I go, I depart, I leave this world of ours. I journey beyond the furthest bounds of Chin, And journeying, ask pilgrims about the road, Is this the end, or must I journey on? My new-born vision of beauty, where art thou? Where art thou with thy Surmeh shaded eyes? The soul of Tahir struggles to be free, And, at this supreme moment, where art thou? O man who ne'er hast studied heavenly lore, Nor set thy foot within the tavern doors, Thou knowest not what thou hast escaped, or gained. How shalt thou come among the elect? Alas! The Lament of Baba Tahir, rendered into English verse by Elizabeth Curtis Brenton. I am a nomad, a fanatic tramp. Life has no ties for such an idle scamp. Aimless by day I wander, and at night A stone's my pillow, and the moon my lamp. By day and night the desert is my home, My tent the friendly heaven's spreading dome. Nor pain nor fever rack me, but I know That night and day I sorrow as I roam. The roses bloom upon the breast of spring, From every bough 1,000 bulbuls sing. But earth contains no pleasure ground for me, A burning heart to every joy I bring. Thy pictured beauty, love, ne'er leaves my heart, Thy downy cheek becomes of me a part. Tightly I'll close mine eyes, O love, that so My life before thine image shall depart. Out hunting, when a falcon, once I went, Sudden an arrow through my wing was sent. Be warned, O heedless wanderer, by me Against the height the strongest bows are bent. Without thee in the garden, Lord, I know The sweetly perfumed roses cannot grow, Nor tears of grief, although the lips should smile, Be washed away in joy's bright overflow. I am beset by cruel tyranny, My heart remembers all mine eyes must see. Old-fashioned, straight, a pointed sword of steel, Put out mine eyes, and set my poor heart free. O thou who dost possess no less, no more Of heavenly knowledge than of tavern lore, and that is nothing. Oh, canst thou expect aught from a world thou never wouldst explore? A lion or a tiger thou mightst be, ever, O heart, at war with me. Fall but into my hands, I'll spill thy blood, that I may then know what to make of thee. Love, since my day, by reason of thy flight, is all so dark, O come, illume my night. By those fair curves that are thy brows, I swear grief only shares my bed in my despite. Prince, through my heart I am affliction's prey, it is the same all night and all the day. I often grieve that I should grieve so much. O some one take my graceless heart away. O love, in purple thou dost bid me go, grief, like an extra garment, weighs me low. Yet will I boast thee as dawn boasts the sun, till Israfil the final trump shall blow. I am the phoenix, of such great renown the beating of my wings inflames the town. If one should paint me on a house wall, why, that luckless house would straightway be burned down. That phrase, yes, he is God, it troubles me. My sins are like the leaves upon a tree. Oh, when the readers read the book of doom, what must my shame with such a record be? Alas, how long, then, must I sorrow so? Bereft of all, my tears unceasing flow. Turned from each threshold, I will turn to thee, and if thou fail'st me, whither shall I go? Strung with thy hair, O love, my rebab gleams. How far from thee my degradation seems! Thou lov'st me not, and wouldst not be my love, then wherefore comest thou to me in dreams? Com'st thou? My welcome thou shalt not contemn. Come not, and who my bitter grief shall stem? Give them to me, and of thy woes I'll die or be consumed, or I'll put up with them. A moment's space to seek my love I ran. Hurry not so, for God's sake, camel man. She holds my heart a prisoner, and, through love, I'm but a laggard in life's caravan. Though we be drunk, our faith is all in thee. Weak and unstable, still our faith's in thee. Guebres or Nazarenes or Mussulmans, whate'er our creed, our faith is thine and thee. Happy is he who's nigh to thee in heart, who from thy teachings never need depart. Too feeble to approach thee, I can still consort with those who know thee as thou art. Come, ye initiates, let no one fail. Form we a circle, and our woes bewail. Bring scales, and our fanaticism weigh. The most ecstatic most shall tip the scale. The sea within a cup, this is my gauge, the dotted letter that completes the page. One in a million's such a man as I am the bright exemplar of my age. Sweeter than hyacinths to me is born The breeze that, sighing, from thy curls is torn. At night, when I have pressed thy picture close, The scent of roses fills my couch at dawn. Ah, when will health to my sick heart return? The good advice I give it does but spurn. Flung to the winds 'twill not be borne away, Cast in the flames, alas, it will not burn. What flame-singed moths as blundering as I? On such a madman who would waste a sigh? Even the ants and serpents have their nests, But I have not a ruin where to lie. For love of thee my heart is filled with woe, My couch the earth, my pillow is as low. My only sin is loving thee too well. Surely not all thy lovers suffer so. Spare me the sight of thy dishevelled hair, The sight of tears in those thine eyes most fair. Thou wouldst deprive me of the sun, thy love, oh, plunge me not too soon in night's despair. When thou art absent, sorrow dims my sight, my tree of hope is barren of delight, and I, when thou art absent, all alone sit, and shall sit until my soul takes flight. Without thee is my heart in mourning clad. Show but thy face, and straightway I am glad. If all men had a share in my heart's grief, no heart in all the world but would be sad. Naught can the meadows of my fancy show, save only grief's sad coloured rose in blow. From my poor heart, 'tis such an arid waste, even despair's pale herbage will not grow. The lover and the loved are so much one, each endeth where the other is begun. My heart with my beloved's little heart is interwove like fabric closest spun. I'm a green log fresh cut from off the tree. O heart of stone, thou burnest not for me. Though who, indeed, expects a stone to burn? But I must smoulder till I kindle thee. My heart is nigh distraught with love's emprise. Tears gush in torrents from my throbbing eyes. A lover's heart is like a fresh hewn log. One end sheds sap, flames from the other rise. By him who knoweth grief may grief be told, just as the expert can divine pure gold. And who but an initiate shall gain the knowledge his initiations hold? The heart of man, you say, is prone to sin. Oh yes, but did not first the eyes begin? If on the tempting face they did not look, the heart, unknowing, would be pure within. O thou, whose eyes are shadowy with kohl, O thou, whose slender figure works my dole, whose locks with musk are laden, art thou dumb, that thus with silence thou shouldst rend my soul? O thou hast caused 1,000 hearts deep pain, more than 1,000 sigh for thee in vain. I've counted far more than 1,000 scars of thine inflicting, and yet more remain. The mountain tulip lasts but 7 days, the river violet lives but 7 days, and I will cry the news from town to town that rosy cheeks keep faith but 7 days. When trees to grow beyond their boundaries dare, they cause the gardeners much anxious care. Down to their very roots they must be pruned, though pearls and rubies be the fruits they bear. Blessed are the friends of God, oh blessed are they whose task is ever, He is God, to say. Happy are they who always are at prayers, for heaven rewards them at the final day. Whom fearest thou, of man, who makest light? Whom fearest thou, who puttest him to flight? Half-hearted as I am, yet I fear none. Whom fearest thou, O double heart of might? What though my jar of life be filled with tears? When I am dead, released from all my fears, thy passing o'er my grave will bring me back to claim again the bounty of my years. Thy curly locks in tangled masses fall about thy rosy cheeks that hold me thrall. On every separate strand of thy soft hair there hangs a heart upon them all. Like a sad-sounding flute, oh plaintively my heart laments. The fear of losing thee will haunt my soul till resurrection day, and God alone knows when that day will be. Love, to be sweetest, love returned must be, or else the lover's heart grows sick, you see. Take Majnun, he was desperately in love, but Layla even more in love than he. Such storms descend upon me from the skies, that salt tears ever sparkle in mine eyes. The smoke of my lament goes up to heaven, for ever for my tears my groans arise. Only from grief, that prevalent disease, an alchemist could free us, should he please. Yet comes at last a remedy for all. The heart returns to nothing, and finds ease. Beset with thorns and thistles is thy road, Yet up to heaven's gate such seed is sowed. If thou canst leave thy flesh upon these thorns, Leave it, and travel with a lighter load. I am but a taper, weeping from the flame. Are not the tears of burning hearts the same? All night I burn, and all day long I weep. For days and nights like this thou art to blame. O evil fate, that I should have to die! But what is fate when destiny's awry? A briar in love's path, then let thy thorns Tear out my heart, that I may cease to sigh. What would it matter if but one small grief Were mine? But oh, my wounds are past belief! A doctor or my love to share my couch, only one of these could bring relief. My heart is fragile, like my glass, and I fear lest I break it when I heave a sigh. A tree whose tears are blood. Is this so strange, when in a pool of blood my roots must lie? I pray thy sun-like face may never lack The shafts that split my heart in swift attack. Why is the mole upon thy cheek so dark? Objects so near the sun become burnt black. I go, I leave the world, I journey far beyond Where even China's limits are, and going ask of pilgrims whom I meet, Is this the end? Is this the outmost star? O thou who didst create the earth, the sky, How have we served thee save to curse, deny? Now by the faith of thy beloved 12 Preserve us, Lord, we are not fit to die. My heart and soul are thine, O lovely one, My secrets are thy treasure, lovely one. I know not, truly, whence my sorrow comes, But know that thou canst heal it, lovely one. Where art thou, love? Where is the burning spell Of those kohl-shaded eyes? O love, I dwell on earth but little longer. Tahir dies. Where art thou at this moment of farewell? Elizabeth Curtis Brenton. New Milford, Connecticut, USA, April 1901. This has been The Lament of Baba Tahir, translated by Edward Heron-Allen and rendered into English verse by Elizabeth Curtis Brenton. Narrated by Denis Daly.